Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Joanne Smedley, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Wing Commander Steve Wiedemann. We warmly welcome the family of Private Albert Leslie Connor, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If you are able, please stand and join in the singing of the national anthem. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Albert Leslie Connor. Albert Connor was born in 1897, joining the ranks of a large family of Patrick and Edith Connor, and soon being known simply as Bert. Although born in Harden, a small town near Canberra, and the Riverina region of southwest New South Wales, he grew up in the Sydney suburb of Dulwich Hill. Here he undertook his schooling before he found work as a clerk. In July 1915, Connor enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force. He was 18 years old, so he brought a letter of consent signed by his father. As he was serving with the Australian Army Medical Corps, he was allocated to reinforcements of the 5th Field Ambulance, which had been raised earlier in the year to provide casualty evacuation and surgery support to the 5th Brigade. On the 15th of January 1916, Albert Connor embarked from Sydney, bound for the Middle East. After a short period of time in training camps outside Cairo, in March he proceeded to France to join his unit on the Western Front. The 5th Brigade's first major action took place around the village of Pozières. Official historian Charles Bean would later write, "Pozières Ridge is more densely sown with Australian sacrifice than any other place on earth." On the second day of fighting, Connor was evacuated from the battlefield, suffering a gunshot wound to the abdomen. He was sent to England for treatment, rest and recuperation. After recovering and a period of furlough, he returned to duty in October, heading back to France and joining his new unit, the 4th Field Ambulance, on the 11th of November 1916. After enduring the bitter winter of 1916 to 1917, in April 1917, the 4th Brigade was involved in heavy fighting around Beulah Court and suffered heavy casualties. As the Germans withdrew to the Hindenburg Line, the brigade took part in the Battle of Languedoc, the Second Battle of Beulah Court, and the Battle of Polcapelle. On the 28th of October, Connor was operating as a stretcher bearer when a shell burst in front of a relay shelter, killing him and wounding a man he was carrying out. A witness reported that his body was brought down by his mates and he was buried at Poperinghe. Today, his remains lie in the Listenhurst Military Cemetery under the epitaph chosen by his family. Have mercy upon him, Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him. Albert Connor was 20 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Albert Leslie Connor, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening.